as the rain pours over Johannesburg. We'll keep your spirits up.
Welcome back to International Weather Forecast. Well, across the Indian subcontinent, not a lot to talk about in the way of clouds or rain. What we are seeing, though, are those high temperatures coming into play as we go from Thursday as well as into the weekend. We are looking at Nagpur, about 38 degrees, Kolkata, about 35 degrees for them. Chennai is also 37, so we are getting into those mid-30s. This is right before monsoon season begins in just the next couple months. So dry conditions, but very warm conditions indeed. As we take our way down to south parts of Africa, well, we are looking at an area of low pressure in the Mozambique Channel. Now, this one right here could potentially be a cyclone. We don't expect it to be anything major, but the major heavy rain is going to be coming out of this, affecting parts of Mozambique as well as Madagascar. So we're going to be seeing some flooding along with this area of low pressure. Also, some nice conditions down to the south. Temperatures have come up for Johannesburg, about 31 degrees, and Durban looking about 30. Well, across the Arabian Peninsula, temperatures are also coming up. We are looking at Doha, seeing temperatures of about 30 degrees, but just look up towards the north. You see this area of rain right here. This could possibly be affecting Doha as we get into the weekend. Maybe a little light showers there, but also some heavier showers up here towards Kuwait, as well as into parts of Iran. Over here towards Abu Dhabi, about 32, Muscat, 29.
Qatar Airways, world's 5-star airline.
A history of guerrilla warfare, a place on the global stage. They were an organization created for a stateless population. But before fighting for their land, why did the PLO fight for independence from their Arab neighbors? Chronicling the turbulent story of the struggle for a Palestinian homeland, PLO, History of a Revolution, at this time on Al Jazeera.
Hello again, this is Al Jazeera. A reminder of our top stories. Violence in Egypt has been blamed on loyalists of the ousted president, Hosni Mubarak. Hundreds of people with sticks and knives clashed with pro-democracy activists in Cairo's Tahrir Square on Wednesday. Reports from Moscow say Russia will impose sanctions on arms sales to Libya. Senior representatives of Muammar Gaddafi's government, meanwhile, have been sent to Egypt, Portugal and Belgium on a series of diplomatic missions whose objective remains unclear. Meanwhile, on the ground in Libya, forces loyal to Colonel Gaddafi have been hitting out at rebels and oil installations in the town of Ras Lanuf. Dozens of people are reported killed there and in other cities around the country. Now, the latest rich list published by Forbes magazine is now available, and it shows that there are more billionaires in the world than ever before, with a large number of them now making their fortunes in Asia, reflecting significant changes in the global economy. The US is still home to most of the world's wealthiest. There are 413 billionaires there, up from 403 last year. But the world's richest man on the top of the heap is the Mexican telecoms tycoon Carlos Slim. For the second year running, he's at number one. He earned $20 billion more last year to give him a total net worth of $74 billion. Microsoft founder Bill Gates might have pipped him if he hadn't given away $30 billion of his own money. His personal pot now stands at $56 billion. And not far behind, the investment guru Warren Buffett with $50 billion. But for the first time in a decade, we're seeing more billionaires in the Asia-Pacific region than in Europe. China has doubled the number of billionaires to 115.
But in terms of Asia-Pacific, the number of increase in billionaires is almost 40%, a huge increase in wealth. In terms of the BRICS, you saw Russia go from 62 billionaires to 101, Brazil from 18 to 30. And so what this underscores is that there is dynamism in the world economy, but it's not in the United States and it's not in Western Europe.
The man accused of carrying out a shooting spree in Arizona in January has pleaded not guilty to the charges against him. Jared Loughner is facing 49 counts of murder and attempted murder, including that of the U.S. Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords. 6 people were killed, 13 were wounded. In another U.S. state, the death penalty has been abolished in Illinois. 15 prisoners are on death row. They're having their death sentences changed to life in prison. Illinois is now the 16th U.S. state to outlaw execution. And in the state of Wisconsin, the state has voted to strip public sector unions of all their collective bargaining rights. The Republican-led legislation was opposed by the 14 Democratic senators. They actually fled the state in order to try and stop the vote. But the proposed law is expected now to be passed on Thursday. Now, Hindus in California are unhappy with the way their religion and practices are being commercialized in the United States. In particular, they're now unhappy about what's happening to yoga. They say modern yoga has strayed from its deeper spiritual identity. Rob Reynolds has more.
As you breathe into the back of the body.
The U.S. is in a yoga boom, with about 16 million Americans doing yoga, spending $6 billion a year on lessons, books, and other items. Yoga has become as American as pizza or sushi.
Breathe with expanded awareness.
Many yoga classes feature some quasi-spiritual talk.
We're seeing others in their essence is that which is pulsating as goodness itself.
Others, like Kimberly Fowler's studio in Los Angeles, present yoga simply as good exercise.
If you've never done yoga and you walk into a class and the teacher's talking in Sanskrit and you're like, what are they saying?
But what is often overlooked amid all the stretching, twisting, and twirling is that yoga is a religious ritual, a Hindu ritual. At a temple near San Francisco, a Hindu priest says prayers before an altar. In another corner, a family prays for safe childbirth. There are about 2 million Hindus living in the United States, and many of them are not comfortable with the way their sacred traditions have been appropriated by American popular culture.
We want credit where it is due.
Swaminathan Venkatraman is a board member of the Hindu American Foundation.
Our major concern is that the roots of the practice need to be acknowledged. And we believe in today's modern yoga movement in the US, there is sometimes even a conscious effort to de-link yoga from Hinduism.
And be a force that is uplifting.
While Hindu ideas like karma, guru, and avatar are widely accepted, Hinduism itself is often disrespected.
Sometimes we have, the goddess Lakshmi sitting on a Burger King ad, sitting on a burger. We've seen pictures of Ganesh plastered on toilet seats. They think it's cute.
Many faithful Hindus were offended by this news magazine cover depicting President Barack Obama in the pose of the god Shiva performing the cosmic dance. The Hindu American Foundation is pressuring the news media and school book publishers to change their depictions of Hinduism. Someday, they hope, Americans will learn that yoga means more than just a way of looking good in a pair of jeans.
Now stretch the thighs back.
Rob Reynolds, Al-Jazeera, Berkeley, California.
A recap of the stories.